Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boutique CEO. I am so excited to be here with you today. I am Chris Williams. I am the founder of the Boutique CEO, Activate Abundance Academy, and the best-selling book, The Soulful Abundance System. And Tuesdays, we get to do our business training. So I'm so excited to have you guys here. If you are here live on Facebook, if you'll do me a solid and just type in the chat, hello, let me know you're here. If you are on YouTube, let me know that you're there. And if you are on Substack, come say hello. I want to see you. So excited. We are diving into a ninja tip today. And one of the things that I love to share with my clients is that a lot of times we kind of think that it's a strategy issue when we're not actually creating income in our business, right? It's what am I doing wrong? What's the latest strategy? What's working now? What's the tactic? What are all of the things that I should be focusing on and doing? And when I take a look at all of the clients that are successful, all of the entrepreneurs that are successful, the way that I've created success in my business, there is one thing that you absolutely cannot skip. And this truly is 80% of your success. Because if you miss this, any strategy, any tactic, anything else that you try to do is actually not going to work as well. So, you ready for it? We are going to talk all about the ladder of beliefs. And before we even get through the ladder of beliefs, though, there's this one main thing, and that is you must be enrolled in yourself first. You absolutely must be involved or enrolled in you feeling like, absolutely, I am so excited. I am here to do the work that I'm here to do. I can absolutely help people get results. And we need to embrace the service that we're here to help clients get their transformational results from a place of certainty, not from hesitation. Because people that are looking at you, watching you, listening to you, they cannot be more enrolled in your work than you are. There is no amount of affirmation that people can give you if you are not all dialed in energetically on you feeling absolutely certain. Because if you are feeling uncertain, they're going to feel it. If you feel like you're hesitating around price, they're going to feel it. If you are convinced and passionate that your work changes lives, that's what matters. That creates safety. That is an experience and a feeling that people have that allows their nervous system to calm, to listen, to feel completely safe, and to want to listen more. Because here's the thing that is so important. And if you guys have a pen or a piece of paper, definitely grab this. Because people are not buying information, right? We don't wake up one day and say, I can't wait to learn more information. People buy belief. And when you are all in on your own belief, when you are enrolled that absolutely this offer or this training or this session or this workshop or this whatever it is that you want people to either invest to work with you or even come watch, when you are all enrolled in your own belief, that translates energetically and in a feeling capacity to helping other people feel confident, right? It's like if you're not confident, then why should they be confident, right? So when we think about being enrolled in ourselves, in our programs, in our pricing, in our offer, whatever it is, I want to share a little bit about what that actually means because it's not a vanity thing. It's not, look at me, this is how great I am. It's actually an internal embodied knowing that actually helps you show up with the strong foundational belief that you are absolutely capable of helping people, that your work creates meaningful transformation, that your offer actually solves a real problem, that you don't need to be perfect, right? You absolutely do not need to have all of your ducks in a row, to all the T's and the dots and all of the thing. You actually want to be a few lanes further on the freeway to help somebody get the transformation, but you don't need to be perfect. There is no perfect. And you also get to dial in on the belief that you deserve to be compensated for your expertise. You have absolutely invested not only time, but money in getting your certifications, right? I am embarrassed to say that I literally have 12 different certifications. I started in, oh my gosh, 1993. I have over 30 years in the wellness entrepreneur space. 1993 is when I got my first certification as a yoga teacher and also meditation teacher. So I have invested over the years, not only in certifications, but also, and you guys have probably done this too, invested in support, right? Whether you've invested in a coaching program or a course or a mentor, right? All of that time and energy that you've put in to share your, your dreams, to share your value, to share your expertise, to share your zone of genius is actually matters. So you get to be enrolled into your own enrollment of certainty, right? And it's so important to also believe that the right people absolutely need what it is that you offer. I'm not here to tell you that everybody on the planet is going to want what you need, what you share. And that's actually really good because the truth is we don't want to be for everyone. If we are for everybody, we're actually for nobody. If we say, I can just help you live your best life ever, that's great, but everybody on the planet wants to live their best life ever, right? So we want to make sure that we are super duper clear that we are absolutely here. Our work is important. It solves a real problem, and the right people need what it is that you want. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending. It's actually certainty. It's not even having all of the right answers. The truth is that nobody has all the right answers. Even the coaches that I invest my time and my energy with, they don't have all the answers either, right? But they will go look and they will find the answer if they don't have an answer for me. So here's the real reason why many coaches are actually not having a steady stream of paying clients. And it really comes down to this. When you are not enrolled in yourself, when you do not have a confident certainty in your own abilities to help somebody get a result, to actually show up, and that your offer is actually going to help provide them a transformation, what ends up happening is that they don't make offers, right? And this might be a little owie right now. It might be a little bit of some tough love. But the truth is most coaches who are not bringing in a steady stream of paying clients are not actually making enough offers. They're simply not inviting people to explore working with them. And instead, what they tell themselves is, well, I just need to build out the website. I just need to build out the course. I need more leads. I need to be more visible. I need a better marketing strategy. I need to overcome objections. I need to figure out how to run a sales call. I need to, it's like fill in the blank, right? But the truth is that many are just not making enough invitations. And why don't we make invitations? Well, we don't make invitations, number one, because what if they say no, right? We're not enrolled in ourselves. We tend to tell ourselves things like, well, if they say no, then that means something bad about me. Or what if they think it's too expensive? Or what if I'm not experienced enough? What if they give me their money and I actually can't help them? What if I disappoint them? What if they don't get results? What if they think I'm too much? Or what if I'm not enough? So this is actually not a strategy problem and it's not a marketing problem. It's actually the inner game. And when I teach my clients inside of Activate Abundance Academy and the Success Studio, one of the things that we really focus on first is this component of the inner game. What it is that we are believing about ourselves? What is the identity that we are embracing? How are we showing up in the world? What are the things that we're telling ourselves? What are the things that we're believing to be true about ourselves, about others, about the world? Because it's not a marketing strategy tactic problem. It's an enrollment problem. It's a mindset issue. It's an inner game thing. And until we fix this, nothing else can bring you in a steady stream of paying clients unless you're paying somebody to do that for you, right? So I want to talk about the ladder of beliefs. And over the course of the next several weeks, I'm actually going to be taking you through the ladder of beliefs specifically on Tuesday. So today we're going to talk about the foundation, which makes a steady stream of paying clients in your business. And the foundation is, of course, being enrolled in you. Before anybody else can believe that it's possible for them, and these are the ladders of belief. They have to believe that their transformation someplace in the world is possible. They have to believe it's possible for them. They have to believe it's possible for them now. And then they also have to believe that whoever it is that they're working with can help them facilitate that transformation. That's actually the fourth step. And if they don't believe that you are feeling confident and grounded and believe in yourself, then they're not going to believe that you're going to be able to help them get their transformation, right? So the first things first is that you must believe that you are the woman that can help somebody facilitate their transformation, that your work matters, that your offer is valuable, that people need what you offer, and you can confidently invite somebody into an experience. This is the missing step. And I call this the I am enrolled, because this is so, so important. Before we enroll anybody into anything else, we absolutely have to be enrolled in ourselves. And this is where consistent clients begin. So I want to share a quick story, because back in the day when I was trying to build and grow my business, I had just come out of a 17-year marriage, going through a divorce with 3 kids. I'd been a stay-at-home homeschooling mom for 17 years, had $25 in my pocket, and had to start all over again. And I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? Right? So I decided that because I already had this deep love for helping people, I was already a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, a yoga kids teacher. I had done my mastery training in yoga. I loved helping people experience healthier and happier lives. And so when I was starting back over again, I had to figure out kind of like, all right, how am I going to do this thing? And as I was getting certifications in the areas that I absolutely loved, I got a certification as a massage therapist, and a health and life coach and transformational coaching, as well as a functional nutritional therapy practitioner. And that entire first year, when I started incorporating coaching and functional nutrition, I only had one client, one, a whopping $700. And oh boy, that kind of hurt, right? Because I'm like, I've spent all of this money on certifications, tens of thousands of dollars on getting certified as a massage therapist, as a health and life coach, as a functional nutritionist, not to mention all the time and the energy that I put in learning all those skills. And so I had to make a decision on what it was that I was going to do. And I wanted to join a coaching program. I saw a coach. I loved the way that she was showing up, what it was that she was saying, how she was supporting people. And I really, really wanted to learn her method. But it was going to cost $10,000. And I didn't have $10,000. I didn't have $1,000. I had $100. And that was it. And my bank account said no. And my circumstances out in the world absolutely said no. And my fear said no. But my heart said yes. Something else inside me believed that there was another level available to me. And I truly, truly believed that support mattered. I believed that my future could absolutely look different, but I didn't actually believe that I could do it on my own. And I'm really, really glad that I said yes to this coach, even with just $100. And I said, all I have is $100. I remember this was in October back in the day. And I said, I don't have $10,000. I don't even have the first month's payment. I do have $100 to say yes. And I believed in myself enough that I could say yes and say, I can give you $100 today. And we would come up with a way. I remember we were Voxering back and forth on the ways that I could generate just the next $900 that I needed to make that first month's payment. And she trusted me enough to say, absolutely, let's go. I gave her my $100. I made the decision because I was not going to sit around and wait for money to magically appear in my account. I didn't have any room on my credit cards. I had no idea, who I could even ask for it. I didn't want to go to my parents and ask for it. So instead, I decided, and I asked myself this question, how was I going to create it? And I decided, all right, let's figure this out. I need to create $1,000 in order to make this next payment. I've given her 100, actually only needed 900. And so I sat down and I asked myself the question, Chris, how are you going to do this? Like, what could this look like? And here's what I did. I decided that I was going to reach out to people that already knew me, liked me, trusted me, and I was going to invite them to work with me inside of a 6-week group program. And I remember when I came up with this idea, I'm like, okay, who do I know who is also into nutrition, who also wants to learn more about health and wellness? And I just made what I like to call a love list. And I wrote down the names of 10 people and I made 10 invitations, 10 simple invitations with people that are already in my world. 5 of them said yes, and that was $1,000 in 1 week at a time when my bank account said that I couldn't. And so when I look back at the story, that was the best $100 that I've ever spent in my life because it changed my identity. It changed what I believed I was capable of and what was true. So here's what I want you guys to hear, and that is money moves at the speed of trust. Money moves at the speed of trust. Relationships create revenue, and invitations are actually we're going to help you create clients. And most importantly, when you are all dialed in on your own belief and aligned with you are here to help others, to make a change in the world, and what it is that you do matter, that means that you are enrolled in yourself, and that actually changes your behavior. I took action on this because I believed. I invited these people because I believed. I followed up with people because I believed. And eventually, that decision, it actually happened that year, led to my first 6-figure year. So from having $100 to creating $1,000 to by the end of the year, I had crossed the 6-figure mark in sales in my business. And not because I had the latest and greatest tactics, not because I had this giant business or audience. I didn't. I actually had about 500 people inside my Facebook group at a time, about 500 people in my email list. But it was because I was enrolled in my capability. I believed that it was possible for me, and I believed that there was a way that I could create this. And that opened up opportunities for me. That kind of opened up, I like to think of this as kind of like the light bulb, right? When we're in scarcity or fear or doubt or uncertainty, all we see is more of that. And we start seeing all of the reasons why now isn't a good time, or I shouldn't reach out to so and so, or so and so doesn't have the money, or so and so doesn't want to, isn't going to want to work with me, or why should I ask so and so, right? Like our brain gives us all of these reasons why we shouldn't. So when we're in doubt, when we're in fear, when we're in scarcity, it actually has us seek out more. But when we're in belief, when we're like, I have got some powerful work here to do. I am here to help people create happier, healthier lives. Who could I serve today? When you are enrolled in that belief that you are here to serve and that you are here to help people make happier, healthier choices and have a transformation in their life in some way, shape, or form, then that opens up to what I like to call infinite possibility, right? It's like, okay, well, it could go like this, or it could go like this, or so and so might want it, or oh, look, I just got a text message from so and so. I wonder if they know somebody, or you know what? Why don't I tell my chiropractor? I wonder if, this would be something that would serve his people. All of a sudden, my brain started thinking about all of the different ways that I could actually invite people to come and have this experience in the program. So I'm going to say something that's going to be a little bit ouchy, and it's a bold truth. But if you're not making offers, I know a lot of times we see copy like, oh, it's not your fault. You were never taught. Look, I say this with so much love in my heart, but if you're not making offers, it is your fault that you don't have paying clients because clients can't be invited. They cannot buy an offer that they haven't been invited into, right? Businesses are not built on mind readers, right? They're built on invitations. They're built and these invitations require belief that you actually have something of value and that you're here to serve somebody. And if I don't believe that my work can genuinely help somebody, then why would I actually invite somebody to work with me, right? Same thing for you. If you don't genuinely believe that your work can help somebody, but if you deeply believe that your work changes lives, then honestly, not inviting them becomes a disservice. I like to think of it as I'm kind of abandoning them on Pain Island, right? I know that they're on Pain Island. I know that they're struggling. I see them. I know that they're, having a massive issue, but I'm so worried about whether or not they're, whatever it is that they're thinking about me, that I don't ever make the offer to come join me, hop in my boat and row them over to Pleasure Island where they're actually getting a transformation. And it's interesting because a lot of clients and a lot of coaches think that it's selfish if they charge, or somehow it's not right for them to charge for their service. But honestly, that is just not true. That is just an old, outdated belief that's keeping you from actually making the invitations. Because the truth is, when you invite somebody to have your support with a system and accountability, what that means is that they get to invest in themselves through you and have that support and have that consistency and have that accountability so that they can actually get results, right? Because information doesn't equal transformation, right? I can read a book all day long about riding a bike, but until I actually get my butt on the bike and start pedaling and fall off a few times and get back on and pedal again, I'm never going to learn how to do it. It's implementation is what creates results. And the majority of the clients that are looking for you know that they've tried to do it on their own and they can't. And that is a problem because that means that we are basically abandoning them. They're saying, I need some support, and we're actually not even inviting them to explore having support. Okay. So I want you to take a look at some signs where you might not be fully enrolled, because this is where we know that we need to create an up level. You've got an opportunity to grow here. There's no guilt. There's no shame. We just want to notice, I wonder if I'm doing any of these things. And if you are, that's just a red flag of, oh, okay, I have an opportunity to grow here. So step one, or one, I'm just going to read these off. You keep tweaking your offers. Are you somebody that keeps tweaking offers, keep changing the price, keep building out new offers? If that is you, then chances are you're not fully enrolled in your offer and what it is that you're delivering. Second a sign to see that you're not fully enrolled is you constantly change your niche, right? One week you decide that you're going to help somebody lose weight. Another week, you decide that you're going to help them with recipes. Another week, you decide that you're going to be a life coach. Another week, you're going to be a business coach. Another week, you're going to do something else, right? I see this happening so often that new coaches are constantly switching niches. Oh my gosh, that's such a hard word to say, right? It's like, okay, like I've given it 30 days. I've given it 6 months, but I don't have the paying clients that I want. So maybe it's easier over here. The truth is, it's not easier anywhere else. Okay. Just because I'm a business coach doesn't mean that I'm making more money than a health coach. I actually made money, 6 figures in my business as a health coach and a functional nutritionist before I even went into business coaching. The truth is your belief. Okay. Here's another sign. You're avoiding sales conversations. You're avoiding actually inviting somebody to explore working with you. That means that you are not fully confident and you're making it actually about you instead of really offering them the support that they need. Another sign is you tell yourself you probably need another certification, right? Well, if I get another certification, then I'll feel a little bit more confident. If I get this extra certification in hypnosis or breath work or whatever, then I'll finally have what it is that I need in order for people to want to work with me. That's not true. That is actually just another sign that you are not confident and fully enrolled in what it is that you do. Here's another one. You might post content, right? You're posting every day, great, but you're not making any invitations. You're not reaching out to them. You're not connecting with them. You're not saying, how are they doing? And you're not inviting people to explore hopping on a quick chat with you, maybe for an audit or an assessment, seeing what it is that they need, sharing a freebie with them or a free resource. You're not actually making those invitations to have what we like to call this game of catch. We're actually having conversations with people. Here's another sign. You actually wait and you tell yourself that you should just wait for people to ask about working with you, right? Oh, I don't want to feel salesy. I don't want to be pushy. I'm just going to wait. Like everybody can see the post. Everybody got the email. I'm not going to bother them, right? So if you're telling people that you're bothering them and you're just going to wait for people to ask working with you, you are not fully enrolled in yourself. Because the truth is, if you believe in something, you are going to want to share it with people and you are going to want to invite people to explore hearing about it. Another sign is you're avoiding follow-up. So let's just say you reached out to somebody and they didn't respond. Okay, people are busy. right? We've got summer vacations. People are at the pool, they're making dinner, they're in the kid, pickup line, whatever. But if you avoid actually following up with them, then what that's saying is that you don't really feel confident about what it is that you sent them in the first place. So the truth is 80% of your sales are actually going to come from follow-ups. People actually need to hear from you on an average of somewhere between 4 to 10 times before they respond. Okay. If you are downplaying your results, right, that's another sign that you're not fully enrolled in yourself. If you are apologizing for your pricing, that's another sign that you are not enrolled in you, your programs, or your offers. If you are second guessing every decision, I don't know, I could do this, I could do that, and all of a sudden you've got like these 25 different offers, and yet you're not actually making invitations for any of them, that is you distracting yourself and doing these other things to try to feel productive and not actually honing in and making those offers or those invitations. These are all enrollment problems. These are all belief problems. And you cannot help somebody in their own belief to believe that their transformation is possible for them now and with your support if you don't get this locked in and loaded. So here's why consistent clients really deep down believe with this self-belief. The first sale in every business is never going to be to your client. It's actually going to be to you, right? Because your clients are actually borrowing belief from you. They're borrowing your certainty, they're borrowing your conviction, they're borrowing your courage until they can create their own. And so you have to go first. You have to believe first. You have to enroll first. You have to invite first. And that's one of the things that my coach, when I first hired her, right, the one that I said, I've got $100, she believed, and I borrowed her belief that it was possible for me. I borrowed her belief that I could figure this out, right? And she believed so deeply and powerfully of what was possible for me and that her program and her system and her support was going to actually help me, that I absolutely believed in myself too. Okay, so here's a couple exercises that I want you guys to take away, and this is going to help you actually build this belief. This is going to help you grow this deeper belief and confidence and certainty that is going to not only energetically attract more people to you because you are more confident and more certain, but it's going to allow you to also create more invitations from this place too. So remember I said earlier that our brain is wired to collect information, right? If we're in scarcity, we're going to look for more evidence to support whatever belief we have about, my prices are too high, or nobody wants to work with me, or should I discount it? And you haven't even had a conversation or an invitation with anybody. I want you to do something different. So let's create an evidence list on the positive side. So we're going to intentionally collect evidence that you absolutely can write down, and definitely write this down. Like, don't just think about it, like write this down on a piece of paper and keep it next to you. Because when you write it down, you actually start changing your brain. You start thinking, instead of the emotional component of your brain, you move up into the logical part of your brain. So I want you to write down every client that you've helped, every thank you message that you've received, every transformation that you've facilitated, every problem that you've helped someone solve, every obstacle that you yourself has overcome, every skill that you've invested and you've developed, every life experience, when you look back on it, that makes you uniquely qualified. And I want you to write all of these down and then ask a couple questions, because this is evidence. We want to collect evidence. So what evidence do I already have today that I can help people? I want you to answer that question, right? After you write all this down, you're going to say, what evidence do I already have that I can help people? Maybe it's that, what, people always come to you. People are always asking you about health and wellness. People are always asking you about your recipes. People are already asking you about something. Great. Ask yourself, what transformations have you created that maybe you've minimized or you've just kind of dismissed? Right? I see this all the time. It's like, oh, everybody knows that. Oh, that's just common knowledge, right? No, it's not. So take a look at some transformations that you've created in your life and maybe in the lives of others that you've minimized or you've dismissed as not really being that important. And then I want you to ask yourself, what strengths do others consistently see in you? right? There are things that people see in us that are telling us things over and over again. You're such a great listener. I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad I asked. You're always there when I need you, right? Whatever that is. So make a list of evidence and strength. Okay, so that is collecting evidence. So that's the first exercise that can help you build and grow your belief. The second exercise is we want to borrow belief from our own story. Because a lot of times we can say, well, it's good for her. Like she's the unicorn, right? She's got something magical. She's got genie blood in her or something like that, right? But we have to actually come back to our own belief. And ultimately, that's what matters. Why did you decide to become a coach? Why? What pain have you personally overcome for the reason why you got into this work? You got into this work for a reason. Chances are it's because you want to help somebody through something that you've struggled with, right? What transformation have you experienced in your life? Why does this work really matter so much to you? And what would happen? This is an important one. What would happen if you never shared your gifts? What would happen if you just kept it all inside, all of the time, all of the energy, all of the knowledge, and you never shared that with anybody? How would that make you feel, and how would that ripple out into the world? Right? And then I want you to write down the woman that you once were with someone exactly like you today, right? And the truth is that our ideal clients, the people that we are put on the earth to help, are previous versions of who we are. They're previous versions of who we are. Okay. Okay. Exercise number 3, we get to rewrite your offer story, right? So one of the things that I help my clients with inside of Activate Abundance Academy is their offer suite. And it's super, super important that they feel really good and confident around what it is that they're creating, right? If they have a high ticket offer, then it's really important that they are clear that their offer actually helps people, right? So here's how you can rewrite your own offer story. If you have a high ticket, mid ticket, low ticket offer, it doesn't matter, but I want you to complete these sentences. So number 1, your offer helps people what? Whatever offer it is that you pick, if it's a high ticket, if it's a low ticket, if it's a mid ticket, it doesn't matter. What does your offer actually help people with? We're not talking about pricing. We're talking about what is the transformation that this offer is actually going to help people with. Number 2, why is this problem even important to solve, right? What makes a difference? If they solve this problem, why is that important? How is that going to change their lives? How is that going to change the lives of the people around them? How is it going to change their relationships with themselves, with other people? I also want you to write down, you would feel proud if your client experienced what? Like, what is the transformation that you would feel so excited for? Right? For me, I I am like so proud and so excited when a client calls me to tell me that they just enrolled a new client. Like that just makes me thrilled. I am so, so happy. I do a happy dance with them, right? And then the final evidence for your offers are the transformation that you facilitate, the transformation that you're helping them with is valuable because of what? Why is that valuable? Why is it so valuable for them to get that result? Okay. So we're going to go into one more exercise today because again, these build upon themselves, right? When we are looking for evidence, when we're shifting our beliefs, when we are being enrolled in the belief patterns and the thoughts that actually have us feel confident and grounded, what that allows us to do is to show up in the world as an empowered coach. And I love to ask my clients on day 1 to actually just claim it. I am an empowered 6-figure coach. I am a 6-figure coach, or I am a multiple 6-figure coach, or whatever it is that they want, right? You get to claim it now because if you don't believe that it's possible today, if you're like, well, I'll believe it when, I'll believe it when I sign that first client, I'll believe it when I hit 10K months. It's not going to happen because the belief has to come first. This is not the world that we are in, and the way that we create from is not a I'll see it or I'll believe it when I see it. It is the opposite. It is when I believe it, then I will see it, right? So close your eyes for just a minute. And I want you to imagine that it's 1 year from today, 1 year from today, and you have a roster full of consistent clients. You feel confident, you feel grounded, you trust yourself, you actually are looking back on your day and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. Like I just reached out and I made like 3 offers to people. I just said, hey, I'm so glad you're here. Are you interested in exploring having support? You believe in your offers. You no longer question your value. And I want you to ask yourself, this future version of yourself, how does this version of you, this future version of you think? How does she speak to herself? How does she make decisions? Does she hem and haw, or is she like, I don't know, this might be fun. Let's just try it. What does she believe to be true about herself? How does she invite people into her work, right? So often, coaches are afraid that they're going to be salesy or bother people. But the truth is, inviting somebody is not the salesy part, right? Inviting somebody to explore having support, there's nothing salesy about it. That's actually in service to help them get the transformation that they want. Right? So just notice, how is this future version consistently inviting people to explore having support so they don't have to suffer any longer, right? And now I want you to ask, what would she do this week? What is one thing that she would do this week? And I want you to write that down. I want you to really say, you know what, this future version of me is absolutely excited. She's confident. She's gifted. She's not worried about getting a rejection. She knows that has nothing to do with her, that she's here to help people create happier, healthier lives. And that if she doesn't make those invitations, she's basically abandoning them on Pain Island, right? So I want you to write down one thing that you're going to take action on this week. And this last piece is really about action, because you can only build belief in your confidence through action. We do not wake up one day and suddenly feel more confident. We create confidence and belief in ourselves by going through the process, right? Belief is not something that you wait to feel. Belief is built through evidence. And evidence is created through action. So if you invite somebody to work with you and you get a no and you still survive and you're okay, you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. Like they're on vacation. They're not ready for that yet, right? So belief and confidence is going to be created by the actions that you take. And I like to call these inspired actions. These are actions that we are here to say, you know what, my future version of myself would do this. Let me just try this week. Okay. And the truth is, the future version of you who already has a consistent roster of clients is making invitations. And so I want to invite you this week, and this is, you can take this or leave this, but I guarantee that if you take these action steps this week, the chances of you having a brand new paying client on your roster is pretty big. So I want to invite you to make 10 invitations, just like I did when I needed to create that $900, that next $900 to enroll. I wrote down 10 people who I thought would be a really good fit for what it is that I was going to be inviting people into. And I wrote down my love list and I made 10 invitations. So I want you to follow up with 10 people, make 10 invitations. And I want you to share one client story. You can do this on social media. You could do this in email. And I want you to share about the transformation. You can, if you don't have any clients, you can also share about you, right? So what was it like before when you were struggling with this problem? And what's it like now, right? So when you're sharing that, what you're sharing is actually a story about you or a story around a client that you've helped that creates social proof. And then the people that are commenting on that story or reaching out, then you absolutely get to follow up with them and just say, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your comment. Is this something that would support you? Right? So out of those 10 invitations that you make, I want you to see if you can invite 5 of those people just into a conversation. Those 10 invitations is not, let me try to drag somebody into being or convince or persuade somebody into being a buyer, right? That's not what we're doing. Those 10 invitations, we want to actually invite them into a conversation to explore whether or not they're interested in having support. Okay, it's not a, hey, do you want to buy my thing? It's, hey, thank you so much for commenting on that post. Hey, thank you so much for being in my Facebook group. Hey, I was thinking about you, and I know that you were working on this challenge before. Is this something that you might want to explore having support around? It can really, really be that easy. So if this is resonating with you, if you know that this belief is actually keeping you from creating a consistent stream of paying clients in your ecosystem, and you want to learn how to do this more soulfully and confidently, I would love to have you come join me inside of the Success Studio. So the Success Studio is my monthly membership. It's where we talk all about heart-centered lead generation. How are we confidently inviting new paying clients into our ecosystem? How are we connecting and building relationships with people? And how are we making those invitations with people to explore working with us? And we even have live calls to walk you through this. This is not, we do not send, just throw a whole bunch of templates and recordings at you and say, okay, there you go, there's all the information, right? Why? Because we know that information doesn't equal transformation. So I am not about to just pop you in a course with no access to help you navigate the nuances. The Success Studio has a monthly live business training every single month with me. Then we have monthly live Q&A to help you navigate the nuances as you're learning these different business building skills, or you want to bring in new paying clients, or you want to bring in a bigger audience into your ecosystem. Okay. Then we actually have 2 calls a month on actually implementing something that I call is our revenue generators. We focus on our core 4 revenue generators to bring new people into our ecosystem, nurture them, connect with them, and then invite them to work with us. And we do that with you live so that you are not left on your own, so that you can actually have support and guidance to implement in real time. So the Success Studio is amazing. I'm so excited about it. We also have monthly networking calls where people get together. We actually just had our monthly networking call today, where people are leveraging each other's audiences. They're collaborating, they're creating panels together, they're sharing each other's freebies, they're bringing each other into each other's Facebook groups. They are helping each other build and grow. And the Success Studio is such a beautiful community of heart-centered leaders that are here to build and grow their business in a way that feels soulful, in a way that allows them to do the work that they're here to put on the earth. So I would love to have you join me. I'm going to go ahead and pop the link in the chat below. And now is a really important time to get in on this because we are actually doubling our prices. In July, the investment for the Success Studio is going to be 12 monthly payments of $199, or you can make one payment in July of $1,997. You actually get 2 months for free when you pay in full. But right now, when you join today, before the end of June, actually, we're going to run this for the next 2 weeks, you can say yes to yourself with just $127 a month. 12 payments of $127. If you want to pay in full, it's $1,297, and you get those 2 extra months for free. So I would love to see you in the Success Studio. Remember, believing in yourself, asking yourself, how could this happen, also comes with believing that you get to be supported. This is so important. I didn't get to where I am in business today by popsicle sticking and duct taping freebies and free trainings together. I actually said yes with that $100. I invested in support. I absolutely said, how can I do this? I want to do this. I want to collapse the timeline. I am tired of feeling like I just have an expensive hobby. I want a real business. And it is because I said yes to myself and I built that belief that I've put 3 kids through college without having to take out loans. I've been able to purchase my own house without co-signing. And this is all after a divorce, right? I have been able to pay off all my credit cards. So we don't have any debt at all except for our house payment. And I've been able to create over $3 million in my business as a coach in helping others create their business too. So if this resonates with you, reach out to me. Just say, hello, Chris. Just say, hey, I'm interested. There is no obligation. You do not have to buy anything to ask me a question. If you want to hop on a quick chat to see if this is the best fit or something else, let me know. Happy to hop on a quick call. Don't do discovery sessions, so I'm not going to give you a free 1-hour coaching session and try to sell you my thing. What I will do is I will hop on a 15-minute session with you to hear what it is that you've tried, what it is that you're doing, where are you, and help you make an empowered decision about whether the Success Studio or Activate Abundance Academy might be a good fit for you, or maybe even 6-figure foundations, okay? All right, my friends, thank you for listening. Rewatch this. take notes, take the exercises. There are people here that are looking for you, and I believe in you. I know that you're capable. I know that you're here to do big work, and I want to make sure that you know that too. All right, my friends, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you back here next week. And we're going to be going to the next ladder on the ladder of beliefs, which is helping the people that are in our world see that their transformation is actually possible. I'll see you next week.